You know, right beneath our very feet, far from the sunlight we take for granted, there exists an entire other world. A hidden realm of colossal underground cities, intricate webs of tunnels, and chambers carved directly from the bedrock of our planet. Just think about it. From the staggering depths of Derinkuyu in Turkey, to the enigmatic passages snaking beneath ancient Incan cities, and even the sacred, shadowy caves of the Maya. For millennia, humanity has been digging down, exploring the earth. We're often told these were merely simple shelters, practical solutions for wartime, places to store provisions, or to bury their deceased. But is that truly the complete picture? Could these monumental projects, which often display an engineering prowess that continues to baffle modern science, signify something far more profound? What if these weren't just refuges from earthly dangers, but from something else entirely? What if these labyrinths were more than just pathways through stone, but passages through space, and perhaps, just perhaps, through time itself? Picture this. A doorway, not crafted from wood or metal, but hewn deep within the earth. It opens into tunnels stretching for unknown miles, connecting not just disparate locations, but conceivably different eras. Imagine an entire civilization, 20,000 strong, along with their livestock and sustenance, thriving 18 stories beneath the ground. This isn't some science fiction fantasy. This is Derinkuyu, and it's merely one fragment of a colossal global enigma that hints at lost technologies, visitors from the stars, and doorways to realms we can scarcely even fathom. Are we truly prepared to confront the notion that our ancestors weren't alone down there in the darkness, and that these tunnels might have served as gateways for beings not of this earth? Deep within Cappadocia, Turkey, a landscape sculpted by volcanoes and erosion into something truly otherworldly, lies a mystery of incredible proportions. The underground city of Derinkuyu. Its rediscovery in 1963 was almost mundane. A local resident, renovating his home, demolished a basement wall and suddenly found himself gazing into a tunnel that simply plunged into the unknown. What he had stumbled upon wasn't just a cave, but an ancient multi-level metropolis, a subterranean marvel capable of housing up to 20,000 people, plus their livestock and food reserves. Derinkuyu descends approximately 85 meters, that's roughly 280 feet, into the earth. It boasts as many as 18 distinct levels, though typically only 8 are accessible or discussed today. Inside this sprawling complex, archaeologists have unearthed living quarters, stables, immense storage rooms, kitchens still blackened with ancient soot, communal dining halls, numerous chapels, and even a large chamber with a vaulted ceiling that some speculate was a religious school with adjacent classrooms. The engineering is simply astounding. One of the most critical elements for such a vast underground city is air. Derinkuyu possesses an incredible system of shafts, some extending 55 meters down, that supplied fresh air to even the lowest levels, and, it's believed, also functioned as wells for water. Security was clearly a paramount concern. Massive circular stone doors, weighing several tons, could be rolled into position from the inside, sealing off tunnels and even entire floors, effectively isolating the city from any invaders. These colossal doors, some 1 meter to 1.5 meters across and weighing up to 500 kilograms, could be maneuvered by just a few individuals from within, but were nearly impossible to displace from the outside. This intricate defense system indicates a population perpetually under threat, seeking a secure haven. The standard archaeological interpretation is that Derinkuyu and other similar subterranean cities in Cappadocia like Kaymakli, which might have been connected to it by tunnels miles in length, were predominantly sanctuaries. Historical records reveal these underground refugees were extensively utilized during the Byzantine era, particularly from the 7th to the 12th centuries, as protection during the Arab-Byzantine Wars and later against Mongol invasions and Ottoman persecution. The Phrygians, an Indo-European group, are often credited with initiating construction way back in the 8th to 7th centuries BC, carving their initial dwellings into the soft volcanic rock. Later, during Roman times, when Greek became the predominant language, the Christian inhabitants are thought to have significantly expanded these caverns, adding chapels and Greek inscriptions. But do these explanations truly encompass the sheer magnitude and complexity of Derinkuyu? Some researchers and ancient astronaut theorists propose it's far, far older, citing legends and alternative interpretations of ancient texts. The Zoroastrian holy book, the Vendidad, speaks of a great ruler named Yima who was instructed by the god Ahura Mazda to construct an underground vara, a multi-level enclosure, to safeguard a select group of people and animals from a terrible evil winter, a devastating ice age. Could Derinkuyu, or places like it, be actual examples of these ancient survival bunkers, erected thousands of years before the historical conflicts we know about? It's incredibly challenging to date stone structures of this nature, as carbon dating is ineffective on the rock itself. Some theories suggest it could have been expanded by the Hittites, who existed centuries before the Phrygians. Some even allude to Paleolithic activity in the area, implying the earliest excavations could date back to the era of Göbekli Tepe, pushing its origins to the very dawn of civilization, or even earlier. The questions just linger, heavy in the cool subterranean air. How did ancient peoples, supposedly with limited technology, excavate such vast quantities of rock? How did they achieve the precision observed in the passages and chambers? Was the sophisticated ventilation system, capable of sustaining thousands deep underground, merely a product of standard ancient engineering, or was there another, perhaps more advanced, guiding influence involved? The sheer challenge of relocating and accommodating 20,000 people and their animals in that kind of environment is difficult to comprehend. While the refugee theory is plausible, the scale and ingenuity of Derinkuyu continue to fuel the notion that its purpose, and perhaps its creators, were far more extraordinary than mainstream history concedes. It stands as a silent stone sentinel to an incredible human endeavor, or perhaps something beyond human. But this whole phenomenon of vast underground structures isn't confined to Cappadocia. All across the globe, from the Americas to Europe and the Middle East, ancient cultures delved deep into the earth, fashioning complex networks that remain shrouded in mystery. Each site is unique, certainly, but collectively they depict a panorama of widespread subterranean activity that compels us to question what we believed we knew about the ancient world. Consider Peru, for instance. Beneath the ancient Inca capital of Cusco, legends have circulated for ages concerning a complex system of tunnels, or chincanas, linking sacred locations. For centuries, many dismissed these as mere folklore. But very recently, as in January 2025, astounding discoveries have brought these legends roaring to life. Archaeologists, employing cutting-edge technology like ground-penetrating radar, GPR, and acoustic prospecting, confirmed the existence of a huge underground network. They've mapped a primary tunnel stretching an incredible 1,050 meters, that's over a mile, connecting the Coricancha, the Temple of the Sun, to the formidable Sacsayhuaman fortress. And there's more. Further investigation reveals other branches, suggesting an intricate system linking various ceremonial, administrative, and supply hubs crucial to the Inca Empire. These tunnels, located about 1.4 to 2.5 meters below the surface, weren't just crude burrows. They exhibit sophisticated stonework, classic Inca engineering, with some sections lined with perfectly fitted stones and even drainage channels. Ancient documents from the 16th to 18th centuries hinted at these passages. One account from a Spanish priest in 1594 even detailed a main tunnel route. While their functions were likely diverse, quarries, shelters, storage, perhaps even for clandestine communication or transporting goods, their ceremonial and ritual significance cannot be overlooked. Some theories even propose Inca nobles or priests utilized them to move discreetly between key sites, especially during ceremonies or conflicts. The scale and precision engineering have once again broadened our perspective on Inca capabilities, raising new questions about how they administered their vast empire. Further excavations planned for 2025 aim to uncover more about their precise operation and construction. Journeying north to Mesoamerica, the Mayan civilization offers another captivating example of underground exploration intertwined with profound cosmological beliefs. The Yucatan Peninsula is riddled with natural sinkholes, known as cenotes, and extensive cave systems. For the Maya, these weren't merely holes in the ground. They were sacred spaces, perceived as portals to Xibalba, their often feared underworld. Recent archaeological endeavors continually reveal just how vital these sites were for rituals. For example, ongoing research presented in May 2025 at Cueva de Sangre, or the Blood Cave, beneath the ancient city of Dos Pilas in Guatemala, has unearthed gruesome evidence of human sacrifice rituals dating back nearly 2,000 years. Bioarchaeological analysis of over 100 human remains, many exhibiting signs of violent trauma and post-mortem modifications like defleshing, suggests these offerings were made to appease Maya deities, possibly the rain god Chak. The findings indicate a cultural preference for specific body parts, particularly skulls, underscoring the ritualistic nature of these deposits. Beyond sacrifice, Mayan caves were employed for a variety of ceremonies, as repositories for important artifacts, and perhaps as sites for initiation or spiritual journeys. The underwater cave systems, explored by specialized divers, showcase otherworldly formations and unique ecosystems, preserving artifacts and even human remains that offer glimpses into ancient Mayan life and beliefs. LIDAR technology has also recently uncovered lost Mayan cities and thousands of previously unknown structures concealed beneath dense jungle canopies, demonstrating the vast extent of their civilization and its intimate connection to the subterranean landscape. This global tapestry of underground structures doesn't end there. In Israel, the caves of Marisha, part of the ancient city of Beit Guvrin, constitute an enormous network of man-made caverns used for centuries as quarries, burial sites, dovecotes, and olive presses. Beneath the bustling streets of Rome, an entire ancient world persists, with catacombs, temples, houses, and aqueducts buried meters below today's ground level, a testament to the layers of history upon which the modern city is built. The study of man-made caves, termed urban speleology, continues to unveil these hidden facets of Roman life. Similar labyrinthine structures are found in Malta, with its own unique hypogea and catacombs. Across Europe, thousands of mysterious medieval tunnels known as Erdstall crisscross the landscape, particularly in Germany, Austria, and France. These incredibly narrow passages, often featuring tight crawl spaces or schluffs, have perplexed researchers for decades. While some theories suggest spiritual or religious applications, or even outlandish claims of alien relics, the more accepted hypotheses are that they were utilized as temporary hiding spots, places to store grain, or perhaps shelters during harsh winters. It's important to note that despite persistent internet rumors of a vast prehistoric tunnel network stretching from Scotland to Turkey, archaeological evidence indicates Erdstall tunnels are localized medieval creations, not some ancient interconnected superhighway. Even beneath the iconic pyramids of Giza, there's controversy and speculation. Recent radar studies by some Italian and Scottish scientists have suggested the presence of a significant underground complex, featuring shafts, chambers, and multi-level structures. These claims, however, are fervently debated within the Egyptological community. Many skeptics question the methodologies and argue that such large structures are improbable given the Giza Plateau's geology, or that they might simply be natural caves or already known substructures. Nevertheless, such ideas fuel alternative theories about the pyramid's true purpose, ranging from energy generation to hidden halls of records. Further afield in Russia's North Caucasus, the Kara-Hora shaft presents another enigma. A vertical chasm plunging deep into the earth, its walls reportedly constructed from massive, perfectly fitted stone blocks, hinting at advanced, unexplained ancient engineering. In Cadiz, Spain, a network of tunnels dating back to Phoenician times, later expanded by the Romans, serve purposes from water transport and tombs to escape routes during the Spanish Inquisition. An entrance was rediscovered by an 11-year-old boy, revealing passages where the last humans had trod centuries before. Each of these sites, from the enormous cities of Cappadocia to the sacred caves of the Maya and the debated passages beneath Giza, speaks of a profound and widespread ancient impetus to venture underground. The reasons were varied: defense, resources, ritual, burial, but the scale and often the sophistication of these undertakings continue to raise questions. Were all these efforts solely the product of human ingenuity within the known technological capabilities of their eras? Or does the global presence of these mysterious labyrinths hint at some shared knowledge, a forgotten chapter in human history, or perhaps an interaction with an intelligence beyond our own? There's just something inherent about caves and underground passages, isn't there? Their darkness, their concealed depths, their connection to the unseen core of the earth. It's all instilled a sense of awe and mystery in us since, well, time immemorial. Across a multitude of different cultures and epochs, these shadowy locales have often been perceived as more than just physical spots. They've been viewed as portals, gateways, or conduits to other realms, other states of existence, even other worlds. So could these massive, perplexing tunnel systems we discover globally be more than just shelters or clandestine passages? Could some of them have been perceived or even constructed as literal or symbolic doorways beyond our everyday reality? The concept of an underworld, a realm beneath our own, is an almost universal myth. For the ancient Maya, caves like the recently studied Cueva de Sangre were entrances to Xibalba, a domain of gods, ancestors, and often trials. Their worldview was rich with symbolism, where descending into a cave mirrored a spiritual odyssey. Some Mayan beliefs even linked the Milky Way, when observed from within these sacred caves, to a celestial road, a cosmic pathway to another world. This connection suggests that for them, the underworld wasn't just below, but also mirrored in the heavens above, with caves acting as the vital nexus. This notion of caves as portals to the supernatural or the land of the dead appears elsewhere too. Recent archaeological research, such as at Teomim Cave in the Jerusalem Hills, has unearthed evidence suggesting it was used for necromancy and other magical rituals. Artifacts including oil lamps, bowls, weapons, and human skulls, deliberately positioned in hard-to-reach locations, point to practices aimed at summoning spirits or divining the future. The researchers themselves stated the cave possessed all the cultic and physical elements necessary to serve as a possible portal to the underworld. Ancient peoples often believed that aqueous and subterranean spaces were such gateways, with shafts providing conduits for spirits to ascend. Legends of specific gates are common. In Peru, near Lake Titicaca, lies Hayu Marca, a site featuring a massive door-like carving in a rock face, known locally as the Puerta de Hayu Marca, or Gate of the Gods. Local legends assert this is a portal to the land of the gods. One tale recounts an Incan priest, Amaru Maru, fleeing Spanish conquistadors with a golden disc, the key of the gods of the seven rays. When he reached the gate and performed a ritual with the disc, the doorway supposedly opened, shimmering with a brilliant blue light, and Amaru Maru stepped through, vanishing forever. The modern discoverer of the site, José Luis Delgado Mamani, even claimed he'd dreamt of this gateway for years before he located it. Similarly, the Gate of the Sun at Tiahuanaco in Bolivia, carved from a single block of andesite and adorned with perplexing symbols, is believed by some to be another such portal. Legends link Tiahuanaco with the creator god Viracocha, who supposedly appeared there and designated it the place of creation. The figures carved on the gate, some wearing what resemble rectangular helmets, only deepen its mystery. What is it about these ancient underground sites that might fuel such portal theories? The sheer depth and bewildering complexity of places like Derinkuyu, with its labyrinthine passages and 18 levels, can make one feel as though they're journeying into another dimension. The massive effort required to construct them, sometimes appearing vastly disproportionate to their stated purpose as mere shelters, prompts contemplation about a deeper, perhaps metaphysical significance. Are there strange energy anomalies reported in some of these locations? Do any of them align with celestial events in ways that might suggest an understanding of cosmic energies or pathways? The recently declassified FBI documents suggesting Earth might have been visited by beings from different dimensions, and even NASA's confirmation of temporary, naturally occurring portals, or X points, in Earth's magnetic field where solar wind can stream into our atmosphere, add a modern, albeit speculative, layer to these ancient concepts. While these scientific phenomena are distinct from ancient stone structures, they touch upon the same fascinating idea of gateways between different states or locations. Could some of these ancient tunnels and chambers have been designed or utilized to interact with telluric currents, geomagnetic hotspots, or other subtle Earth energies, which ancient priests or shamans perceived as conducive to altered states of consciousness or communicating with other realities? Many ancient sacred sites worldwide are situated where so-called ley lines converge, or in places with unusual magnetic properties. Göbekli Tepe, for example, is said to be located at the confluence of two ley lines. Were these underground networks, in some instances, attempts to create stable, controlled environments for such practices? The legends of strange disappearances linked to some of these tunnels, or tales of individuals entering and emerging transformed, or not at all, further cement their association with the otherworldly. While many such stories are merely folklore, they reflect an enduring human sense that these deep, dark places harbor secrets beyond our normal comprehension. Whether these sites were ever functional portals in a science fiction sense is highly speculative and lacks direct physical substantiation. However, the fact that so many cultures perceive them as symbolic gateways, places of spiritual transformation, and entrances to other worlds suggests a profound and shared human experience of the subterranean. The builders of these labyrinths may have been endeavoring not just to escape terrestrial enemies, but to connect with, or perhaps even traverse, the very fabric of reality in ways we're only beginning to conceive. The Earth itself was their temple, and its depths, their most sacred and perhaps most active chambers. The sheer audacity of these ancient underground complexes, their often baffling engineering, and their presence in diverse and geographically disparate cultures have led some researchers to a more radical and, let's be honest, controversial hypothesis: that humanity didn't achieve these feats in isolation. Could extraterrestrial intelligences have played a role, either as the actual constructors, as mentors, or as the very impetus for these structures' creation? This is the core of the ancient alien theory as it pertains to these global labyrinths. Why even entertain such an outlandish claim? Well, proponents highlight several persistent puzzles. Firstly, the advanced engineering. Sites like Derinkuyu, with its multi-level design, sophisticated ventilation for 20,000 individuals, and massive internal security doors, or the Kara shaft in Russia, with its reported precision-cut megalithic blocks deep underground, seem to stretch the assumed capabilities of ancient peoples with rudimentary tools. How were tons of rock excavated and transported? How did they maintain structural integrity over vast spans and multiple levels? While conventional archaeology credits human ingenuity, and rightly so in many instances, ancient astronaut theorists question if the timeline and assumed technological proficiency always align with the monumental achievements we observe. Secondly, the scale and global dissemination. From Turkey to Peru, from Mesoamerica to scattered sites in Europe, the drive to create extensive underground networks appears to be a widespread phenomenon. Could there have been a common rationale, shared knowledge, or even a coordinated endeavor guided by some external influence? The idea of a global culture, or at least globally shared high technology in deep antiquity, is a recurrent theme in these theories. Thirdly, the legends themselves. Many cultures possess myths of sky gods, creator beings who descended from the heavens, or powerful entities who interacted with early humans. The Sumerian civilization, one of the earliest known, has cylinder seals and texts that some interpret as depicting gods emerging from what resemble portals or gateways, sometimes linked to staircases leading to the sky or strange, shimmering columns. One artifact shows the god Ninurta seemingly pressing a button on a gateway wall while wearing what looks like a modern wristwatch. Are these merely symbolic representations, Or do they hint at actual interactions with beings who possessed advanced technology, including methods of movement or access to places that we would term portals or stargates? Specific ancient alien theories propose various roles for these extraterrestrial visitors. Some posit that these tunnel systems, or portions thereof, could have been clandestine ET bases, shielded from events transpiring on the surface. Perhaps they were part of a larger interstellar transportation network. The modern myths surrounding places like Dulce, New Mexico, with its purported 7-story underground alien facility conducting bizarre experiments, while unproven, reflect this persistent notion of hidden subterranean alien activity. It's theorized that the original purpose for such underground facilities, even in contemporary lore, was protection, whether from nuclear armaments or other global cataclysms. Another line of reasoning is that extraterrestrials didn't construct these structures themselves, but imparted guidance, knowledge, or tools to ancient humans. This could explain apparent leaps in engineering or astronomical knowledge in certain ancient cultures. Were the plans for these complex cities somehow bestowed upon them, or were humans uplifted to a higher technological echelon? A more dramatic theory suggests that some of these underground cities were erected as survival shelters not merely from terrestrial wars or local disasters, but from cosmic threats, perhaps asteroid impacts, solar flares, or devastating climate shifts like the evil winter described in Zoroastrian texts, possibly linked to the Younger Dryas Ice Age. If advanced beings were aware of such impending catastrophes, might they have advised or assisted humanity in creating these deep sanctuaries? This aligns with the idea of Derinkuyu being significantly older than conventionally accepted. The persistent stories of concealed chambers within these labyrinths, said to house ancient relics, books crafted from solid gold, untranslatable inscriptions, or lost scientific knowledge, also fuel the ancient alien hypothesis. Could these be caches of extraterrestrial technology or historical records left behind? While no such definitive, game-changing artifact has been officially presented to the public, the aspiration for such a discovery remains potent. The mythology of indigenous peoples, like the Hopi of North America, adds another dimension. Their legends speak of different worlds, and a period when their ancestors had to seek refuge underground to escape destruction on the surface, living for a time with the ant people in subterranean caverns. Some ancient alien theorists have drawn parallels between these ant people and descriptions of certain types of alleged extraterrestrial beings, specifically insectoids, like the J-Rod entity, rumored to have been held at Area 51. Could these be distorted recollections of interactions with or assistance from non-human entities who were adapted to or utilized underground environments? Now, it's truly crucial to state that the ancient alien hypothesis, particularly concerning these tunnels, remains highly speculative and largely outside the parameters of mainstream archaeological and scientific consensus. The absence of clear, direct physical evidence, such as an alien artifact found in situ with unequivocal proof of its origin, or an inscription that undeniably translates to an extraterrestrial provenance, is the primary impediment. However, proponents contend that the evidence exists, but it's misinterpreted, suppressed, or simply not recognized for what it is. The paramount question is whether the ingenuity and immense labor of ancient human populations are sufficient to explain every colossal, complex, and puzzling underground structure discovered across our planet. Or do the persistent anomalies, the baffling engineering feats, the global patterns, and the strangely congruous myths beckon us to consider a more profound and perhaps more unsettling possibility, that in the deep, dark recesses of the Earth we once brushed against architects from the stars? As we meander through these shadowy corridors of speculation, it is prudent to ground ourselves in what mainstream archaeology and science have ascertained and how they perceive these matters. For every theory about alien constructors or interdimensional portals, there's a more conventional, often meticulously researched explanation rooted in human ingenuity, necessity, and cultural practices. Archaeologists are largely in agreement that these immense underground complexes were constructed for practical human needs. Derinkuyu and its counterparts in Cappadocia are widely accepted as sophisticated defensive shelters, predominantly utilized during intense conflicts like the Arab-Byzantine Wars. Their intricate designs, featuring heavy stone doors, distinct levels, and ventilation systems, narrate the story of a people under siege, fashioning a sustainable, defensible habitat. The soft volcanic tuff of the region, while rendering excavation relatively straightforward, also necessitated careful engineering to maintain structural stability, a skill ancient builders clearly mastered. Similarly, the newly confirmed tunnels beneath Cusco, Peru, while truly astounding in their extent and precision, are being interpreted by the lead archaeologists as serving multiple functions vital to the Inca Empire. Potential routes for transporting goods, facilitating strategic communication, serving ceremonial purposes, and possibly originating as quarries that were subsequently repurposed and expanded. The advanced stonework aligns with known Inca construction prowess, visible above ground at sites like Sacsayhuaman and Machu Picchu. The teams making these discoveries have not posited any claims of non-human involvement. Instead, they underscore the sophisticated urban planning and engineering capabilities of the Inca civilization. Mayan caves, too, have well-established roles in Mayan beliefs and ritual practices. They were sacred loci, pathways to the underworld Xibalba, sites for offerings, sacrifices to deities like Chak, burials, and shamanistic journeys. The discovery of human remains and ritual objects in locations like Cueva de Sangre harmonizes perfectly with historical accounts and iconographic depictions of Mayan religious practices. Even the more enigmatic Erdstall tunnels of Europe, while their precise purpose remains debated, are largely considered to be medieval in origin, likely serving as temporary hiding places or for storage, not remnants of a Stone Age superhighway or alien outposts. Scientific dating methods, when applicable, consistently point to human activity within known historical and technological eras. It's so crucial to acknowledge the incredible resourcefulness, skill, and sheer diligence of ancient peoples. To assert that all monumental or complex ancient structures were fabricated by extraterrestrials can inadvertently diminish the achievements of our ancestors. They were astute observers of their environment, capable of sophisticated planning, mathematics, engineering, and managing large-scale projects, often with tools and techniques that might appear rudimentary to us, but were highly effective in their time. The argument that they couldn't possibly have built this often underestimates ancient human capabilities. However, the allure of the unknown and the persistence of fringe theories also articulate something profound about the human experience. These ancient sites are undeniably mysterious. Their scale can be overwhelming, and the precise methods of their construction are not always fully comprehended. It's this lacuna in our knowledge, this sense of wonder and sometimes unease, that creates fertile ground for speculative notions. The scientific method necessitates evidence, and thus far, there's no direct, verifiable archaeological proof, no unequivocally alien tool, no universally accepted non-terrestrial inscription that links these ancient tunnels to extraterrestrial beings or actual space-time portals. Skepticism within the scientific community regarding such claims is therefore substantial and well-founded, based on current knowledge. Yet modern technology is continually unveiling new strata of understanding. LiDAR, employed in the jungles of Mesoamerica to locate lost Mayan cities, or ground-penetrating radar and acoustic prospecting, utilized in Cusco to confirm legendary Inca tunnels, are revolutionizing archaeology. Even historical curiosities, like Leonardo da Vinci's sketches of tunnels beneath Milan's Sforza Castle, have recently been corroborated by GPR surveys, proving these long-rumored passages indeed exist. These tools permit us to peer beneath the surface, map the unseen, and confirm or revise our comprehension of the past. Every new discovery contributes a piece to the puzzle. The dialogue between mainstream archaeology and more speculative theories, while often contentious, can sometimes push the boundaries of inquiry, encouraging us to pose new questions, even if the answers remain elusive. The key is to differentiate between established fact, reasoned hypothesis, and pure speculation. These underground worlds were fashioned by hands, whether human or otherwise. They serve purposes, whether mundane or metaphysical. As we continue to explore these deep, silent places, We're not merely investigating ancient structures. We're exploring the depths of human history, ingenuity, and perhaps the enduring question of our place in a vast and mysterious universe. The Earth certainly guards its secrets tenaciously. Beneath the surface of our contemporary world, the winding tunnels and massive underground cities of antiquity stand as silent, enduring monuments to a past that's far more intricate and enigmatic than we often concede. From Derinkuyu's capacity for 20,000 souls, plunging 18 stories into Turkish bedrock, to the recently mapped chincanas of the Inca and the sacred portal-like caves of the Maya, we're confronted with a global phenomenon of incredible human endeavor. Standard explanations of refuge, of ritual, of resource management provide us with a logical framework to understand many of these astounding feats. The ingenuity of ancient peoples, their resilience, their profound spiritual connection to the world around and beneath them, cannot be overstated. Yet, do these explanations address every query, account for every anomaly, every legend that clings to these stones like ancient moss? The sheer scale of some sites, the puzzling sophistication of their engineering, the persistent whispers and folklore of otherworldly beings and gateways to other realms, these elements keep the portals of speculation wide open. When does impressive ancient engineering cross a threshold that legitimately compels us to question the known capabilities of the era? When do recurring global myths of celestial visitors and underworld passages cease to be mere coincidence and begin to suggest a deeper, shared, and perhaps unacknowledged chapter in the human narrative? While definitive proof of extraterrestrial involvement or functional time portals remains elusive, confined to the realm of theory and interpretation, the enigma of these subterranean worlds continues to enthrall us. They challenge our assumptions about the past and impel us to delve deeper, to question further. These ancient tunnels are more than just apertures in the ground. They're pathways into the human psyche, into our deepest fears and aspirations, our connection to the earth, and our enduring fascination with the cosmos. Perhaps their ultimate purpose for us today is to remind us that there's always more to discover, more to comprehend, and that the greatest mysteries may lie not only in the distant stars but also in the silent, waiting darkness right under our feet. Were our ancestors truly alone as they carved out these enigmatic spaces, or were they sometimes guided, sometimes sheltered, perhaps, by visitors from far beyond, creating pathways not just through the earth, but potentially through the veils of time itself? The earth remains silent, but the questions echo on. So, what do you think? Are these ancient tunnels purely human creations, testaments to their resilience and cleverness? Or do you believe there's evidence of something more, a guiding hand from somewhere else, or even gateways to other dimensions? We'd love to hear your theories and thoughts in the comments below. If these mysteries of the ancient world grab your attention, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next dive into the unexplained. The secrets are out there just waiting to be uncovered. Join us as we continue to explore them.